afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this very important meeting today, Tuesday, October 1st, 2019, in the City of Portsmouth City Council chambers. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Council, before you, sorry. Where are we? Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, we will now have roll call. Please indicate your presence electronically. 5 members of the Planning Commission are present.
Commissioners, before you are the minutes of the September 3rd, 2019 public hearing. If there aren't any changes, we're in need of a motion. Commissioner Thaxton?
I'd like to make a motion to accept them minutes.
Is there a second? Commissioner G?
I second the motion.
Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the September the 3rd. We all missed it. The minutes are approved 5-0. Announcements of future meetings and conferences. Please note our next scheduled work session is Tuesday, November the 5th, 2019 at 12:30 p.m. 6th floor conference room, followed by public hearing at 1:30 p.m. City Council chambers. Items reviewed today will be presented to City Council chamber for action at their November the 12th or November the 26th, 2019 public hearing or as otherwise noted. Planning Commission rules limit a speaker up to 5 minutes to speak. We also ask that everyone please silence your cell phones at this time if you have not already done so. Our first item, Z1905, Churchland. Daniel Heatwell of Ripley Heatwell Company is requesting to rezone approximately 2 acres located at 3109 Tire Neck Road from General Mixed Use GMU to Urban Residential High URH in order to build a 48-unit multifamily apartment complex. The future land use map in the Build One Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan designates this property for commercial use. The property is owned by William Copeland and is further described as Tax Map 815, Parcel 2. Our staff coordinator is Julie Chop. Will the applicant or representative for this application please come forward and present your application at this time?
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Heatwell. I'm with Ripley Heatwell Company. We are a multifamily, primarily a multifamily development firm based in Virginia Beach. We've been in operation since 1946, and as a developer primarily since the early 80s. The project that we are presenting today, through discussions with the planning staff, was recommended for deferral, and we have agreed to that. There was a question regarding a request for additional environmental delineation to be done. We have ordered that work to be done and expect the results in the coming weeks. So we have agreed to that deferral, but did want to be here today just to briefly describe the project to you and answer any questions that anyone may have. The subject property is currently a single-family residence. It's zoned general mixed use when the new overlay was done. Working with the property owner, we have proposed to do a 48-unit apartment complex, and that would require a rezoning to URH, which is the same as the adjacent property to the south. We have spoken to the property owners adjacent to the north and to the south, met with the board of the condominium association to the south as well. The buildings we have proposed are 3-story. It's a wood frame walk-up product where those breezeways are hidden. I will show you the elevation in a minute to give it a bit more of a distinguished feel. The units will range in size for a 1-bedroom around 825 square feet. 2 bedrooms will be in the range of 1,150 to 1,225 square feet. Rents projected would be somewhere in the range of $1,150 for a one and around $1,400 for a two. This is a market rate property that we are proposing here. Currently, we own and manage 500 units within about a mile and a half of this. Arbor Reach Apartments, which is a 92-unit affordable community, and West Winds Apartments, which is a 408-unit market rate property. As I mentioned, the property is a three-story building that's proposed, similar in scale to the condominiums that are just to the south. And we certainly feel will be a nice complement to this area as it makes the transition into the more commercial portion of Churchland here. And you know, I'd be happy to answer any questions or address any comments at this time.
Commissioners, are there any questions for Mr. Heatwell? There being none, thank you, sir.
All right, I look forward to seeing you all in a month.
Madam Secretary?
Mr. Youngblood.
Oh, Commissioner Youngblood?
Thank you, sir. I'd like to make a motion that we defer Z 19-05.
She has to open the public hearing.
Oh, never mind. Correction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item Z 1905. If there's anyone here who would like to address this application, you may come forward, state your name and your address, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none. Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, we will hold this item open until our November the 5th meeting.
Commissioners, we will hold the public hearing open, but we need to vote on the referral. Is there a motion? Commissioner Youngblood.
I make a motion we defer this item Z 19-05 until the next meeting.
Commissioner G.
I second.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion and a second to defer Z 1905, and you will be voting electronically. This item is deferred by a vote of 5-0. Our next item, UP-19-15, Churchland Daniel Heatwell of Ripley Heatwell Company requests a use permit to construct a 48-unit multifamily apartment community at 3109 Tower Neck Road. The property is owned by William Copeland and is further described as tax map 815 parcel 2. The property is zoned general mixed use GMU, and the applicant is concurrently proposing a rezoning to the urban residential high URH zoning district. The Build One Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan's future land use map recommends commercial land use for the property. The staff coordinator is Julie Chop. The applicant has already been forward. Do you have any additional information for this application?
No, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, this is a public hearing on item UP-19-15. If there's anyone here who did not get an opportunity to register and would like to address this application, you may come forward, state your name and your address, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none. Commissioner?
Commissioners, this public hearing will also remain open until our next meeting. The chair is in need of a motion for deferral.
Okay, G.
Commissioner G.
Baxter.
I move for deferment of UP 19-15.
Is there a second?
Baxter.
Commissioner Thaxton.
I'll second.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion and a second to defer UP-19-15, and you will be voting electronically. Sherry. This item is deferred by a vote of 5-0 till November the 5th Planning Commission meeting.
Madam Secretary, I believe that concludes our agenda for today. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Commissioners, will there be any further business? Mr. Baldwin, any additional?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing none. Hearing none, before we do adjourn, I would like to again thank John. John, stand up. Maybe they're on TV or something, you know. Mr. Hardick is retiring, and this will be his last meeting with us. It's been an outstanding pleasure for us to have worked with you, and we wish you the very best. Hearing none, this meeting is now adjourned.